Hey everybody, welcome back to the Flannel Channel. I'm Philip, I'm glad you're here. 1956 Buick Century 4-door in my home garage today, and I have the honor of putting some custom pinstriping on it from my buddy Charlie. He's been asking me to do this for years. Today's finally the day. So I'm going to show you a little bit of my process. It's not going to be a how-to video necessarily, but I love pinstriping on classics, hot rods, semi-trucks, whatever will sit still long enough to put some lines on, and I'm thrilled. And you know, it's my 1950s house with a single stall attached garage, so it's kind of fitting to have a 50s car inside it. I love mid-century Americana. We'll explore Charlie's car a little bit more too. I want to bring you in and show you some up-close stuff on this period correct piece. It's amazing. Stick around, it should be a fun episode.
Man, this is cool.
All right, so I don't mean to sound like a broken record because I probably say this in almost all my pinstriping videos, but I want to at least show you guys what I use and why, and a little bit of the prep work that I've done on the car is just wipe it down with a little bit of odorless mineral spirits. I don't want to use anything that is too harsh because this paint has been on this car since the 70s, and I don't want to use something like acetone that would actually get down and start pulling paint or clear coat off the car. That's a big no-no. So I only want to get is, harsh of a chemical as absolutely necessary to get the old wax off, and really want my paint to have something to bite onto. I use Alpha Enamels paint for almost all my projects. Occasionally I do still use One Shot, but Alpha 6 Enamels is made in Detroit. I've had very, very good luck with their product. I use MAC brushes for my pinstriping and my lettering jobs. And I'm just gonna mix up a little bit of white, and I may switch over and use a little bit of red as well, kind of an accent color. Talked about maybe using some grays or some blacks, but Charlie said, just have fun with it, do what you'd like. We talked about where to place some of the pinstriping on this car. He would like the majority of the pinstriping to be on the front of the vehicle because at car shows, that's really all anybody sees anyway. And in the back of the car doesn't get as much notice. And so we're gonna do maybe a little bit over the headlight eyebrows, across the top of the fender, and then a little bit something coming off the airplane hood ornament. Could play around a little bit up in here with the lines of the hood. I love this car. One of the things that I like to use as I lay out my designs and my ideas is a pencil. It's just a scry ball. It's water-based and wipes right off, but that helps me find my center lines, and I'll use masking tape, I'll use a tape measure and find exactly where I want my lines to be. It's a little bit tedious of a process, and I don't want to belabor it anymore, so what I probably will do is set up a little bit of a time lapse, and then we'll zoom in close as I'm actually pulling some lines with the pinstriping brushes, yeah, they just get stored in this box right here. So anyway, that's the basics of what I'm going to be doing, but we're going to begin with white after I get some lines scribed on. Let's jump in. All right, after getting some guidelines measured out and some ideas put down in pencil, you can just barely make it out there, but that's kind of the idea. That's about where I'd like to go with my paintbrush, but sometimes things change in the moment and I'll just go a totally different direction with my pinstriping. But it's time to mix up some paint and set up the time lapse. Let's get to it. Some of what I'm doing off camera is called paletting, and that's just pulling that little bit of paint to the end bristles of my brush with the intention of trying to keep a consistent width of paint in my lines. And what I'll do sometimes is come back and touch up the very ends of my lines so that they have a little bit sharper edge to them. It's a little bit more pleasing to the eye. So I'll grab the edge of a paper towel or a Q-tip or something like that and touch it up. All right, I have switched to red now. Both Charlie and I thought that red would be a really cool accent color on this orange. That can be tricky to make turns. With the pinstriping brush, you actually have to twirl the brush in your fingers as it's happening, as you're going through a curve, because you don't want the bristles of the brush to splay out and make your lines wider. You want to try your best to keep consistent lines all the way through.
Definitely made a boo-boo red in here, but it's just paint. You can wipe it right off. All right, I'm gonna go back through, go over that one more time. Just in that little section. Try and make the weight of my lines, how much pressure I'm pushing down, as consistent as I possibly can. Of course, there's no such thing as perfection because it's all hand painted, so the mistakes in it are part of what make it real and human. That's what's adding the character to it as we go. There it is. I'm happy with that. Good. I'll bring it down in here because I don't want lines to be out on their own without being connected to the rest of the design. It's not a rule because there's no rules in art, but it's a rule of thumb of what looks aesthetically pleasing in a design. And it's what the master pinstripers have taught the younger guys, and so I try and keep
wanted to show you one cool thing that I learned about this car. Charlie had to show me how to start it. And let me turn the ignition on, turn left actually for ignition. Starter is the gas pedal. Isn't that awesome? I love that. Okay, reverse, backing out of the shop here. Oh, that's neutral. I should pay attention to my indicator. Reverse is all the way that way. There we go. Isn't that a sweet dash? I love it so much. There we go. Now, pay attention, Flannel. Park. Shut it off. There. Let's look at it out in the sunshine. Heck yeah. Any of my guidelines will be wiped off. I'll just tell Charlie, give it a little while and then use some glass cleaner or some water. Pretty simple. There we go. I'm happy with that. Sometimes knowing when to stop and not keep adding more and more lines, sometimes that's tricky. And, you know, sometimes less is more, sometimes more is more. But I was trying to, you know, follow the lines of the car, let it point my brush where to go and give me inspiration and ideas. So, yeah. All right, well, I need to clean up my mess and then I have other things to do on my Saturday. But Charlie will be back here in a little while to pick up his car and hope he enjoys it. So, thank you guys for coming along on this episode. I truly appreciate you and supporting the channel and all the things that I have going on in my life, in my world. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace and grease.